Okay, we're now live. So, hello everyone. Welcome to the Q&A for the Queer Asian Shorts Program Part 2. We have with us the director of Miss Man, Tathagata Ghosh. Would
Hi.
you like to introduce yourself briefly?
Yeah. So, hi, this is Tathagata from India, Kolkata, actually, Eastern India. And I am the writer and director and producer of the short film Miss Man, which is playing this year at the 36th Wicked Queer Boston LGBT Film Festival. And I'm incredibly honored to be a part of this year's festival. It's a very strange year for all of us, but I'm glad that I'm thankful to Sean, Diane, Grace, everyone at the festival who had our film playing, and it's really an honor. And our film played at Queer Asian Program 2 in the festival, and it ended yesterday. So I'm absolutely floored by the response. A lot of my friends saw the film, so I'm very, very thankful. And I hope that our stories really helped a lot of individuals from the community and from outside the community across the world to be inspired and to be motivated through cinema.
Awesome. Thank you.
Thank you.
Um,
Thank you so much.
so, I know that this is about our short program as a whole, but I did want to talk about your film in particular. And
Yeah.
I wanted to ask you, what was filming Miss Man like? Did you face any challenges in particular? Uh, how did you cast for the film? Can you talk a little bit about that?
Sure. So the genesis of Missman actually started quite a few years back when one of my friends, very close friends, got married, um, but we were not invited. Most of us, and I was very kind of very. It felt weird. What happened? And then few months later, I found out that actually he came out to his parents. And that's when it was a hush-hush affair, and it was a time when Section 377, which actually criminalized same-sex relationship in our country, um, it was just a rough time, and still there are a lot of cases of police torture. Like in our city, only a few days back, we had a gay man being beaten up and tortured by the police in our city. Though cases have been filed and lot have been done by many of us from the community and the allies of the community, but it was just a complete mess. And so imagine what would have happened like few years back when actually this law was very much there. This totally completely rubbish law that it was. But then actually I couldn't do much. I felt helpless, and the idea and the incidents which happened to him kept haunting me for many years. And then in 2018, when it just all came back to me, I decided that now I have to tell this story. I cannot live with it anymore, so I have to share it with the world. And that's when I started writing the film. I completed writing it, and then I saved money for a year by working, and finally I made it happen. And the making came together, and I'm very thankful to them, my cast and crew, who really helped me to make this film. And it has been a great experience. And this is a film which really changed me as a person. So I'm very, very thankful to the audience who have reacted to the film positively so far, and to everyone across the world who have seen it.
Awesome. So you said you funded the film yourself then. You didn't
Yeah.
receive any funding from an outside source?
No, I didn't. I didn't. It was
No.
all. It was all. It's on independent production, as independent as it can get, and I produced it myself. I funded it myself, and I think that was the only way to go about it.
Well, I think it was beautifully done. The
Thank you so much.
cinematography
Yes,
was amazing. Uh,
means a lot.
the actors were talented. Honestly,
Wow.
the story was moving. I'm really happy that you went through with it. Um,
Thank you so much. Thank you
did
so
your
much. Yeah.
film? Yeah, I wanted to ask: was it well received in India? Did it get a chance to shine over there, or? are you mostly touring international film festivals?
No, it got screened in India on many occasions. Before COVID, also we had a few screenings in my city and in different cities of the country, Mumbai, Delhi, Bangalore, where we had our world premiere actually last year, Chennai. So many of the metropolitan cities saw the film being screened. I had a few more plans also for the screening in actually rural parts of the country, but that halted. So maybe next year when things get a little bit normal, I hope.
Yeah,
Yeah. So other than that, I mean, different film festivals across the world, obviously in America, North America, Spain, different parts of Europe as well. So and all everywhere the response has been pretty amazing. In my country also, I think it was very important, especially the different film festivals that we went to, be it LGBT film festivals or non-LGBT film festivals. The response was phenomenal. We had almost houseful screenings everywhere. And not only that, after each of the screening, the response of the audience, that how they reacted to the film, it was pretty emotional for me. I remember it was our second screening at Chennai on actually exactly a year back. We had our world premiere on 3rd August 2019, and immediately the next day we had again a screening at Chennai. And after the screening at Chennai, there was a trans woman who came up to me, gave me a hug, and said, "Thank you for making this film," because actually she was going through the surgery during that time, and it was very painful process for her emotionally. So, but watching the film, it really gave her a lot of hope. So, and it flowed me. I think that was a moment when I realized that how much responsible we are as filmmakers, that we can bring a positive change and we can inspire so many people across the world by our work. And I think this has been the response pretty much everywhere. And I think the most striking response I got was from an uncle of mine, actually last year, when I showed him the film, and I knew that he was homophobic. I didn't tell him about the film, and I showed him the film, and he saw it, and there was tears in his eyes, and he said that the pain, the journey that the character go through was so kind of it just swept me across emotionally, and I think that was kind of a starting point of conversation that I had with him, and that the film had an impact on him, positive impact on him, is why we made the film in the first place. So it has been incredible.
oh, wow, yeah, it must be incredible to hear, especially
Yeah.
from a family member who otherwise is homophobic, that you were able to make
Yeah.
a change in him.
I
That's
really am
beautiful.
thankful. Yeah, absolutely. It has been, and I'm really thankful to my team, without whom I couldn't have done it. Be it the cast or the crew, everyone who stood by me and just helped me to make this film happen. So yeah.
Awesome. Jenny, if you have any questions, feel
Yeah,
free.
sure. Thank you so much,
Hi, Jen.
Tathagata, for making that beautiful film. Um, I
Thank
had
you so much.
I had a question on your visual style. So something
Yeah.
that really struck me when I watched the film was just how beautiful the colors were, and also how unique kind of the shooting style was, and that you seem to use a lot of like fisheye lens almost, and very, very shallow depth of vision. So just wondering how you arrived to that visual style and decide to use that to tell your story.
Thank you, Jenny. Yeah, I mean, I think, the visual style actually came a lot, actually was developed a lot in the process of filming. So when of course, I mean, fisheye and the kind of lensing that you mentioned, um, I love distorted images. I love because I think it really brings out the psyche of the character, the journey that the character is going through. But I think when actually during the filming process, and especially while storyboarding, the moment Orgo, who played the protagonist in the film, the moment he came on board, a lot changed. And I sat down with him, and we went through the script again and again. And during our workshops, he actually gave me a lot of ideas, which culminated in a lot of the visual style that you see in the final film. So and it's just that how I saw the character, how I saw the how in when I was shooting in the location on the sets, is just how I saw the character in that landscape, the character in that in the emotional state. And since actually my protagonist Orgo in real life, he also went through not exactly a similar journey, but certain incidents were very similar to him. He could relate to a lot. So at part, it felt so real and raw, that he was just there emotionally in that scene, and I could see actual tears in his eyes, and he was just taken aback by the whole. He was overwhelmed by the way the film kind of shaped up. So, and that was how I saw him actually. And when I went with a 1635 and just came closer to him and just saw him through the lens, it was just that felt right to me also. So it was a lot of instinct that went through it. Usually, I also know the lens where I'm shooting with, and I knew this time as well. But once when I started actually, when I went to the sets and we started filming, a lot came in the process. So it was very organic that way, actually.
Mm. Yeah, it's in the timeline is interesting also in the film. You have so many cuts back and forth from different points in the narrative. It seems like it's a stream of consciousness almost of filming.
Exactly,
Yeah.
exactly. And I think that was not actually. If you read the original script, you will see that it's very different. In the original script, actually, it's a very linear kind of a storytelling. And as I said, I think I owe a lot to the cast. So the moment Orgo came on board and Ratrish came on board, who played the trans woman mentor character in the film when he came to the city, when they came on board, actually a lot changed. They inspired the characters in the film. And so it was then that I realized that there is a lot more to do in the film rather than what is written on the page. So it was improvised a lot, and I felt that this was a film which needed that. So a lot of visual style, the way you're shooting, and I could see Orgo actually standing at a certain place on the set, and I could see that he was into the zone, and I could sometimes tell my cinematographer that just shoot him. And we use those are very random shots, but actually we could use them in the film. So that's how the visual style kind of evolved. So, and a lot evolved also in the editing process. So I would also give a lot of credit to my editor Amir. He was the one who actually kind of played with the whole style, and we had a lot of discussion on the edit table as well. And that's how the film kind of evolved. And usually all the cast members, be it Bimal, who played the lover, or Payal, who played the sex worker, Monozda, who played the father, everyone was very instrumental, and even the kid also. So yeah, it was beautiful. It's collaboration actually. And I think also I would like to say that I think this is one film where I also tried a lot play with the sound design as well, and those are sometimes real sound I heard in the location, and also very it since it had I mean even the use of songs, which is very unusual. I kind of don't do that often, but I think the songs also was again very contextual for me, and I tried to tell the story. It was the songs were almost treated like a dialogue in the film. So
Yeah,
I
the
think
narratives were very on point with the film itself. I
yeah.
appreciated how you matched them up with each other. That was really nice.
Thank you so much. Yeah. So that was
Okay. I did want to ask also at the ending. So you have a very your ending is almost a statement in and of itself, right? Your character comes out dressed as a woman in front
mm,
of the father, and
good.
were they both the father? No, sorry, the
It was
potential
yeah,
yeah, the potential wife.
correct,
Uh,
correct, correct.
and then there's some sort of like flash forward or flashback with our main character as a man with his pregnant wife. So
Mm.
is that was that meant to be your ending, or was that meant to be what could have been? How did you want to end your film with us feeling as viewers?
Well, I think the ending was Well, I think it's a very important question, and we had a lot of actually kind of conversation with my actors with that, and as well as my editor, that whether we should end with the scene where he comes out, as you say, as you mentioned, whether that should be the ending scene, or even there is one more small, closing scene also to the film. But I felt it was very right because while talking of acceptance and while talking of gender and sexuality, because for me this is a study of gender fluidity, and I treated it much more than just a queer film. It's also a study of self-discovery, humanity in general. So I feel that the last scene, I mean, the kind of the anticlimactic ending and the ending finally was, it just felt right to me because our protagonist was initially not accepted by his lover and also by that other woman, the sex worker, when he actually when she actually tried to be herself, or if I use the pronoun they,
Mhm.
they tried to be themselves. So I think that was one of the kind of the conflict of emotion, that psychological conflict that they are going through. I think that was very pivotal to me. So I think also one thing that we usually see, that sometimes quote unquote effeminate people, there is a kind of a mass belief that they will always fall in love with a man. And sometimes, as I have seen in many, people who do not understand sexuality, they sometimes make very stupid statements, and they have very stupid takeaways from a lot of conversations, which I wanted to change also, which I wanted to address. So that ending was very crucial to me to actually address those issues, address those things, and I think that was why I you saw that ending which was there in the film. So that was the reason.
Interesting.
And I felt that I felt that it was very important for me because also him becoming a father is very crucial to him not having to having a childhood which where he was accepted, and then the whole contrast that he's facing while growing up.
Yeah.
He wanted to actually bring up his children differently, and that was why I took that direction with the film. So yeah.
Mhm. Oh, that's great. Yeah, Jenny, sorry I interrupted you earlier, so feel free to jump in if you'd like.
I was just like so engaged in your answer that I think I forgot my original question.
Thank you.
But I guess
Thank you. Now you were talking about the lensing, the visual style.
oh yeah. I actually have another question. I was wondering, what are you planning to do next? I mean, with all this coronavirus stuff, I'm sure filmmaking is a little bit different maybe than before. So what are
Mm,
your plans for your next project?
yeah. Thank you, Jenny. Well, I think we actually in the lockdown, because India has went through a lockdown since March last week, 23rd March. And the lockdown happened till May end, and then there have been very sporadic lockdowns in the country. But people, they are not even following the rules sometimes, and there's a lot of political tension that is going on. So right now, the political climate in our country is so messed up that as storytellers you kind of constantly feel inspired, and I think this is a very important time for our country because especially for the queer community as well, and for any marginalized community in our country, be it the Muslims, the queer people, the Dalits, um, currently the political party who are in power are kind of feeding on emotions very wrongly, taking advantage of that. So I feel as filmmakers, we are really kind of trying to make films which can engage the audience in those conversations, because every other day you wake up to some very disturbing news, and I feel that there have been cases of suicides in the queer community also, because many individuals have to live with their parents who are not accepting of who as of their children as who they are. So the number of suicides are also going up. So people are actually becoming closeted again. Those who came out, they are again becoming closeted. So I feel that now is the time to actually bring about a change through films. So I think the next subject that I do, the next film that I do, will kind of try to address those politics, be it the gender politics, be it the politics of politics of greed, politics of it is. I mean, your films cannot help but be political, and I feel that it has to disturb, it has to give rise to conversation. So during lockdown, actually, I made another short film which dealt with the whole migrant crisis in our country. People who are forced to walk back to their home because they did not have any transport. So I think, and also there have been ideas to, because when I researched on Missman, a lot of things which I couldn't bring in the film, it they were leftovers. So now I wanted to pick that up and address it in another film as well. And now it will the film of like Missman is much more relevant in our country and globally, I feel. So because it's very important, and that's why I feel that our film will be very important, and what why next Mech will kind of border around similar themes in a different way. But I think these are themes that need to be addressed now. So I feel that it is extremely important.
Well, we're looking forward to seeing what you end up producing, and hopefully, if you would consider submitting it again, we'd love to take a look.
Absolutely, I will. I enjoyed the whole process. I mean, all the films are incredible, and I feel the way all of you conducted the festival, it was so beautiful to see, and so many conversations, the Q&As, the discussions, it was so inspiring. And I feel that I'm glad that Wicked Queer happened virtually, because I'm glad that it was not cancelled. Like a few festivals which had to be cancelled, very unfortunate. And I respect the decisions, but I feel that the film festival should happen, even if it's virtual, if conducted properly, like Wicked Queer, because I feel that it is really a time when storytelling needs to come in front, and that is the only way there can be positivity and there can be a social impact. So I think this was actually the right year for the film to play at Wicked Queer, and I mean, we couldn't have asked for a better screening than this. So yeah.
Well, thank you. Yeah, the one upside. Well, there were quite a few upsides, but the main upside here that we had was that instead of just being able to share it with the Boston community, we got to share it with the U.S., Canada, Mexico. So we
Correct.
really
Correct.
expanded the audience for all our films,
Yes.
which we wouldn't have been able to do had we not gone online.
Absolutely. Absolutely. And I think though I miss I mean, film festivals, the physical presence in a film festival is something else. And definitely I miss that more than ever, because I feel going out and meeting people face to face. Imagine if I was in Wicked Queer today physically. I'd have met all of you in person, and networking would have happened with a lot of more important filmmakers from the community. And I think it would have been incredible seeing the film also on a big screen with an audience, the collective
Of course.
experience. I'm missing that. Um, but I feel that it gives a kind of a fair chance, as you correctly said, to just expand beyond Boston and reach out to a wider sector of people. So I think that really kind of happened, and I'm glad that the film got discovered by many more audience. And I think at this point of time, I just want more people to see the film and react to it. So I think it was a very, very kind of win-win situation for all of us. So yeah.
Well, I did want to ask you if you had any thoughts or closing words for our audience that is watching today, if you would like to say anything in particular.
Absolutely. I think, first of all, thank you, Grace, once again. Thanks to Jenny. Thanks to Sean, Diane, and all the Wicked Queer family for making me a part of the family this year, making our film a part of the family this year. And I think this is only collaboration that is going to be a long one in future as well, with many more projects. And I think this is a very important festival, being in the 36th edition. And I can only see it grow for the next 36 years. So, and I know that a festival like this is very rare, very important, and there should be more in number. And many upcoming film festivals also should actually be inspired from the programming. I think any film festival is represented, is known for its programming, and I think Wicked Queer really stands out there. And I would like to say everyone that just be brave with yourself, and just be brave to put out your work. And I feel so many filmmakers, they are kind of sometimes shy, sometimes they do not know that whether they should put their work out for people to see, because they constantly have the fear of being judged by others. But I feel that you should have no such thoughts. You should just go out and make films and make a positive change, because I feel that I think this is something which Martin Scorsese said, that every film has an audience, or even one single audience, one single person will watch your film. And I think that is very important. And we can, I think, little droplets make ocean. So you can start creating a change with that one person who will talk about your film to another, and that's how your community will grow. So I think that is very important, to put out your work and let people just discover them, because every voice is important. And I see so many people around me who do not have a voice of their own. And I feel through films, through a platform like this, it needs to reach out to the people. So make films, make important films, make films that matter, make stories that matter. And I hope that I can see all of your work in the upcoming edition of Wicked Queer, and we can meet and we can take this conversation forward.
I could not agree more.
Thank you, Grace. Thank you so
Yeah.
much. Thank you. Thank you for the kindness. Thank you for the support and love for our film and for all the filmmakers. And I think also one thing I must tell, that a film festival, the success of film festival lies in how much it cares for the filmmakers. And I think this is just Wicked Queer just loves their filmmakers more than anything else. And I think that makes it special.
Thank you for those kind words.
Thank you, Grace.
We really appreciate it. I
Thank you so
personally don't have any more questions for you, Jenny. I'm not sure if you do.
Okay, thank you so much for those ending words. I think that a lot of filmmakers
Thank you so
out there
much.
Yeah, it ended beautifully. I think we can call it over here. Thank you again. We won't
Thank
keep
you.
you also to 2 a.m. now, is it?
It's fine. And I think the whole pandemic has changed our course, our sleep cycle.
Yeah,
So I usually don't sleep till much later, either reading a book or watching films, or just, or just, browsing random things on YouTube and internet, and just
yeah,
discovering new stuff, documentaries or whatever. So I feel this is the perfect time. And actually, I don't know, I think it shouldn't be the case, but I feel more kind of creative at nights these days. So, constantly
yeah,
writing stuff or things like that. So I think
yeah. The
it's my
midnight
brain
musings are really
is
like
very
that's where
important.
I get my inspiration as well. So I
Exactly.
understand
There you
what
go. There
you're
you go. So that makes the two of us.
saying.
Yeah.
Okay, well, I mean, wrapping up here,
Thank you.
once again, that was Tathagata Ghosh, the director of Miss Man.
Thank you so much.
Um, Please, now that the festival's over, be on the lookout for more screenings of his film and all of our films. We hope to
Yes.
see you again next year. Whether in person or online is yet to be determined, but we will find a
I hope it's
way.
physical. I hope it's physical, and
Yeah,
I'm sure that we'll be having, this year was as much memorable as the last year's edition as well, and I hope that it will only get better as it gets better every year. So yeah, thank you so much.
yeah. All right. Well, thank you. Have
Thank
a
you.
lovely day and a lovely
Thank
evening
you.
to those of us in the US. And we will talk
Thank you
soon,
so
hopefully.
much. Absolutely. Stay safe and wear masks, everyone,
Yes.
when you're going out, please. And be safe, wash your hands, and take care of yourself. Thanks, Jenny. Thanks, Grace.
Thank you.
Goodbye.
Thank
Have a
you.
lovely
Bye.
evening. See you
You
later.
too. You too. Bye. Bye.